Howdy, Pastor Mark Driscoll here, answering this week's Ask Pastor Mark newsletter question. If you've got one, send it in to hello@markdriscoll.org. And if you want to get daily devotions, Bible teaching, sermons, an archive of past Bible teaching, and other resources, just head over to markdriscoll.org. This week's question comes from a young married couple. And the question is asked, how do you keep your marriage a priority when you have young children demanding your time and attention? Let's just be honest, little kids are physically demanding. We've got 5 kids. They are currently 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19. We didn't chart it out that way, but every other year, somebody with our last name showed up. And when the kids were little, it was physically exhausting. They just require a lot of time and energy. And I think all young couples with young children struggle with this question: how do we maintain the priority of the marriage? Well, let me say this. First of all, it's priorities. Your first priority is your relationship with God. And it's making time in the presence of God and with the people of God to experience the peace of God that then prepares your heart and your soul to have relationship with your spouse and have relationship with your kids. So first priority is relationship with God. Second priority is relationship with spouse. How do I know that? Well, God gave you a spouse before He gave you the kids, and also the kids are a temporary assignment. There will be a day when your kids grow up, they get older, they leave their father and mother, they head off to be independent individuals. It doesn't mean you don't love them and you're not their parent, you're not involved in their life. But the parenting at this level really is a temporary assignment, and you want your marriage to continue. And the mistake that some couples make, they put the child in the middle as the highest priority, and then they serve the child or children, and when the kids leave home, the marriage falls apart because the marriage was not a priority. The marriage only existed to serve the children. Once the children are gone, the marriage doesn't have enough to sustain itself, and the friendship isn't solid enough to carry the relationship forward. So it's God first, spouse second, then children. This means you have a child-friendly home, but you have a Christ-centered home that then has Jesus as the center, marriage as the first priority, and children as the second priority. I had this conversation actually yesterday with my son. We were driving home, and a buddy of his, he's 11, is in the middle, his parents are in the middle of a divorce, somebody that he knows. And I said, how do you feel about that, little buddy? He said, it's really sad and it's very hard on my friend. He said, I know in our family that you and mom in your marriage is the most important thing, and that us kids are loved, but that your relationship with moms comes first. I said, how do you feel about that? He said, now that I'm seeing my friends' parents get divorced, they both keep telling him that they love him, but they don't love each other. He said, I'm glad that you and mom love each other first, because that means you're going to stay together and that I'll have a mom and a dad. And I said, that's good. We had a good conversation in my truck. And here's what happens. Jealousy is not necessarily a bad thing. The Bible reveals that God gets jealous. God says, I'm a jealous God. Jealousy can be a bad thing, but it doesn't need to be. All jealousy means is someone or something is in my place. Someone or something is in my place. So a lot of times for women, they're jealous of their husband's job because he is so devoted to his job that he's not really devoted to his wife. And then conversely, oftentimes the husband is jealous of the children because she is very devoted to the children, but it's at the expense of their marriage. And jealousy is when someone is in my place. You want to make sure that you don't put anyone in the place of your spouse, including your children, and if you do, you'll be instigating jealousy in your relationship. And what happens then is if the marriage isn't a priority over the children, number one, when the kids leave home, you're going to have despair, sadness, grief, meltdown, because the whole reason of my existence or our marriage is now gone. Number two, oftentimes this leads to divorce. This is where sometimes you'll even see a Christian couple that seem to have a decent marriage, the kids leave home, they're divorced, the marriage falls apart. Why? Because the kids were a priority, the marriage was not. Number three, this can lead to meddling parents. Your kids do leave home, but now you're the parent who's sort of hovering over them. You're the helicopter parent who's overly involved in their life, and you're overly involved in their affairs because you don't have a life with your spouse. Your only life is with your children, so you're meddling after they leave home. This can also cause children who are overly dependent on you because they've not grown up to be full functioning adults. And for the first time in the nation's history, among young adults 18 to 34, the millennials, more are living with their mother than they are with their spouse because, man, oh man, maybe the the marriage was not a priority. Maybe the child was, so the child moves home and mom is still there in the 20s and in the 30s, and a lot of those homes are also experiencing jealousy and sometimes divorce. Number four, what can sometimes happen then as well is you live with the children as the idol that holds the marriage together. Once the children leave, the marriage starts to crumble. Please bring us grandchildren so that we can replace the children with the grandchildren as the glue, as the idol, as the center that pulls the marriage back together. And so you just move from a dysfunctional marriage where children are the center to dysfunctional marriage where grandchildren are the center. The way to solve all of that, God first, spouse second, children third, priority. And this is date night. This is telling the kids, hey, it's bedtime. Mom and dad need their time together. Mom and dad are going to go on a date night. Maybe this is an evening away, quarterly, and it's setting in motion certain things that show the kids, we love you, we take care of you, we don't neglect you, we value you, but our relationship is a priority. And that's one of the ways you disciple your kids, to show them the value of marriage, to show them that they have an intact marriage among their parents, and that provides a safe, loving, healthy, secure environment in which the children can grow. So I would have you ask your spouse, how are we doing? How's our relationship? Is it a priority? And is there any jealousy? So thanks for the question, and be praying for you. Pastor Mark out.